Greetings, soccer fans. The game of soccer is one of skill, speed, and, of course, flopping. Today, we're going to learn a couple of flopping techniques. Let's get started. Note how the lack of contact does not stop our soccer hero from drawing a penalty and a much-needed breather for his team. A shoulder to the chest should be able to produce a flop worthy of a stretcher, if done correctly. Well done, Jimmy. During the game, when an opposing player comes near you, grab your shoulder as if in pain, and then reveal the bite marks to an official. Now you're ready for the World Cup. Oh, and the box score, which starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score. Hello and welcome to the box score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They, of course, are the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Morale pretty low to start the show today in the man cave after the U.S. loss yesterday against Belgium. So you guys tried to boost morale by wearing shorts into work today. McLovin, why was the decision made to have you all wear shorts when there's only supposed to be a couple of you?
Well, here's what Dan said. He said, if you could predict the World Cup score exactly right, you could wear whatever you wanted. Now, I am the only one who got it right by blind luck, 2-1 Belgium. So I could have worn pants, but I didn't want to give off the perception that I was rooting against the U.S., so I decided to go with the guys and wear shorts because I didn't want to win that bet that way.
McLovin, I got a quick question, McLovin. When the score was 2-1, were you rooting for the score to hold so you win the bet and have the correct pick, or were you hoping the USA would score?
I can't hear you, Paulie. There's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with my earpiece.
If you didn't want to look like you were rooting against the U.S., you would have picked them to win in the first place instead of picking.
Hey, I'm an analyst. See, no, I'm a soccer analyst. I just tell you what I think is going to happen.
That's true. You call it just right down the
Yeah, no favorites here. When I'm like, I analyze the sides, the kits, the caps.
It's Belgian.
0-0.
I want the US to win.
Belgianeers.
Belgium.
Belgiania. Thank you, Screech. As we've mentioned countless times, Landon Donovan not on the U.S. roster this year. Here's video of Landon watching the agonizing close calls for the U.S. yesterday. Paulie, you said you were so upset that you hit the ground at one point during the game. Was that Wojo style?
It was exactly Wojo style. It's a great guess by you, Brock. I was standing like this, watching, kind of Leo Mazzoni rocking back and forth. And the moment where it went in, I went like this. I went, oh, like we're about to score. And then went, no, and slapped the ground. And believe me, I wasn't the only one.
Landon was one of 3 soccer guests, to count them 3, which was way too many in my opinion. And Dan tried to put him on the spot.
What difference would you have made yesterday?
Why you got to ask me that?
Because you thought about it.
Listen, I've said many times, every professional athlete thinks that they can make a difference. I mean, that's why if we don't think we can make a difference, we shouldn't play. So, you know, it was definitely hard to watch. There's no question.
I love that Dan asked that question. You know, you could put on all the soccer analysts you want, and, you know, we had Eric Winalda, and, you know, the other day we had Kyle Martino, but we've got Landon Donovan, and how do you not take advantage of that strong relationship we have that he's been coming on? The guy who was kicked off the team and made all that news, and who that follows any kind of soccer at all, even if you don't, knows that what a big story was when Landon Donovan was left off the team. You got to wonder and want to hear from Landon himself what difference he could have made and would have been a different outcome if he would have been out there. So I'm glad Dan worked that in.
Brock, when you started this segment, you said something about there being too many soccer guests. I thought the same thing, believe it or not. Not that there was, because it was the main and only basically story today. But I was thinking to myself this morning, what if at 8:45 a.m. Eastern, LeBron James said he's going to be a New York Knick or a Cleveland Cavalier? I love soccer and I love the World Cup. Whoosh, it would have been pushed to the back burner hard. It would have been a shared show. But a little thing, I mean, not a little thing, but a story like LeBron James even saying, I'm considering the Knicks, could have split the show in 2.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And I actually thought that we hit it perfectly today because it was by far the #1 story. It wasn't even close, other than more NBA rumors. And I thought that the guest list was actually pretty perfect. You had Tim Howard, who was easily the star yesterday and the #1 story coming off of it. Eric Winalda, who was very critical and super passionate about it. And then Landon Donovan, who was the one key player that really everybody felt like we were missing this year. I don't know how we could have possibly done it any better than we did today.
You know, it's funny, too. I saw a lot of Twitter reaction to Winalda. Of those three, you know, he's less directly connected to this particular team. But, man, he's polarizing. I did not realize, like, he really threw some flames out there. So it's interesting. I would have thought that he would be, not the weak link, because he's a great analyst. I would think he was right there, and he came on top of the show, so I thought that was good.
When Landon got on the phone to do his segment, I was talking to him for a minute beforehand, and I just asked him what's up. He goes, hey, I'm hearing Winalda just laid into Klinsman. I go, oh, you saw it? He goes, no, I got people texting me. So people were texting Landon about the Klinsman segment, like, hey, you got to hear this thing.
Great.
Well, Seton, as you mentioned, you had Tim Howard on the show today, and his performance got praise from all over the nation, but one Danette did not seem all that impressed.
39 for a goal. You're not moving anywhere. Peyton Manning's 39. I feel like you could...
Well, it's reflexes here. I'm sorry. This isn't Peyton Manning.
You can't honestly be suggesting that what Tim Howard did yesterday was not athletic.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say, yeah, but I mean, a 39-year-old goalie, I feel like a lot of the goalies look a little older around the World Cup.
Thank you, McLovin.
Then later I backed it up. How about Gigi Buffoni in Italy? How about Gigi Buffoni, Fritzy?
Love Buffoni.
I did a lot of research, and I found out the goalie in Australia is in his 40s. The Colombia team started a 42-year-old. Obviously, you can get older and still play goalie.
You did your research.
I thought McLovin had a really good point, and his point was actually correct. But once he started talking about people who are very unathletic, like Peyton Manning, it's like you lost it.
Well, yeah, Peyton Manning, though, by the way, I know we're calling him unathletic, but he's got a particular kind of athleticism. He is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
But he almost never moves. I mean, he does this a lot with his arm.
He'll sidestep a little bit.
Yeah.
He'll sidestep, he'll do a little bit, but he's also a great athlete in his own way.
He's a great quarterback.
He can't throw the ball 50 yards downfield. You know,
ultimately, though, the whole thing came crashing down when Tim Howard came on and said, yeah, it's probably not going to be me the next time. So then it was sort of like, oh, well, never mind.
But Howard also said, like, Dan said, are you tired? He's like, well, I'm not as tired as my teammates because I didn't have to run like them. Proving my point.
Paulie, Tim Howard said he was going to send in some game-used gloves into the man cave. Are those going directly to your house, never to be seen again?
Not necessarily, but I would say it may be a game-used glove we put in the man cave. I mean, there's two gloves. I figure if I take one for me and one for the show, that's progress.
Is there like a parallel man cave somewhere in your house, probably like the garage? It's like the exact same.
He runs this amazing eBay store that you wouldn't believe.
Second of all of them.
Chicken tonight.
Let's take a break. Coming up, McLovin spends way too much time in the box, but he's never heard that before.
Hi, I'm Jim Parsons. My favorite Danette is Fritzy because of mock headlines, and that's literally the only reason. You're watching The Box Score on Audience DirecTV, channel 239.
Welcome back to The Box Score. Jim Parsons, a huge fan of yours, Fritzy, but apparently you don't share his taste in Friends. Here's Jim with tennis star Eugenie Bouchard, who you got confused with a woman who lived to be 117 years old. Paulie, did you make sure Dan brought up the mistake just to rub it in?
Well, I didn't have to this time. Fritzy actually was pretty forthcoming about it and told him, but I was prepared to, Brock, as always.
It was shocking when I pulled that video up on the, she's just dead. Well, Jim was fun as usual and made sure he took it easy on Fritzy.
I had said Jeannie Blanchard by accident, and then we Googled it, and it's a 114-year-old woman who recently passed away. Who just looks nothing.
Her run at Wimbledon is done before it began.
And
Ms.
Jeannie
Blanchard.
Bouchard is a very pretty girl. And
she is easy on the eyes. It's true.
Yes.
And the irony too. This is Fritzy. You know, this one. Jeannie's beautiful.
She is. Yeah, that's, there's mistakes and then there's mistakes. And if you put those two photos up against one another, an attractive 20-year-old tennis player at Wimbledon, Bouchard, as opposed to Blanchard, Dan had asked me the other day what her name was, and instead of taking an extra second when I was put on the spot to make sure I had the name right, or to just tell him, hold on a minute, or Google it, or do whatever I needed to do to check the name, for whatever reason I blurted out Blanchard, and Googling that, unfortunately, led to with a 114-year-old woman that obviously looks absolutely nothing like the attractive Bouchard. So that was a disaster.
What's most surprising about this is like it'd be like me getting a Walter Payton question wrong. Fritzy getting a late-teen European tennis player's name wrong, that's his wheelhouse.
That's the most frustrating thing, because I was admiring photos of her and sending them out to the guys, so I knew who it was. But when I said Blanchard instead of Bouchard, then also McLovin sends out an email to all of us going, are you sure that's the right tennis player? And just the difference in the two photos is very, very frightening.
It was frightening. Speaking of mistakes, McLovin, today you ended up talking too much prior going into the box, and television ended up cutting you off at the end of your bit. Do we need to get you a timer like we have for Fritzy?
No, because in my opinion is that I understand.
I haven't standing by for it.
When you're headed to the box, the best part of the box is Dan talking to you right before. It's like, do you want to see me alone in the box, or do you want to get Emmy Award-winning Dan Patrick interacting with me? So I focused on that, and Dan and I had some things to work out before. So I guess you made the right choice cutting me off in the box. I mean, I was just basically ripping Paulie because I got the Belgian pick right and he didn't. Does the nation need more of that? They already know.
Dustin Diamond, soon after your box appearance, you tried your hand at goal, but you got scored on left and right. McLovin, do you have more respect for Howard after letting the likes of Fritzy and Paulie score on you?
I guess so. Tim Howard probably would have even had trouble with these because it was close range. Now, all week the guys have been kind of taking it easy on me in goal, but I guess some of the frustration against the Belgian team flowed over because...
Yeah, I gave it an extra push when we were seeing you in the Belgian
Yeah, but you didn't
getup.
scare me because you kicked it really hard and were about 9 feet wide. Seton and Paulie were on target.
Who really wants to see the ball go in the net when you can see it go in the nuts?
Yeah,
so that was usually Andrew. I think he sensed that was up though because he did the standing fetal every single time. He knew exactly where we were going.
I am well versed in our nut shot reel. I can now sense when something is coming that will add to the nut shot reel, and I just didn't feel like it today.
You let us all down. Up next, it's time to take off your hats and honor America as the Danettes drop some country knowledge.
This is the Hulkster. Oh yeah, brother, you're watching Brock and the Danettes on Audience 239.
Welcome back to the Box Score, the Hulkster brother, a true American hero. Guys, we have a holiday coming up Friday, prior to you going on vacation next week. Fritzy, do you have one eye on the clock like you did in school prior to summer vacation?
I do. I've been counting it down. We don't get a whole lot of vacation time. I'm sure I could speak for all of us. It's long overdue to try to shut it down for a little while and take a deep breath and appreciate what we've done so far, and just kind of before we gear up closer to a football season and everything, to have a little period of time off. So yeah, I've been figuring out with the calendar and how many shows we had. I've been probably doing that over the last week or two.
Now, you didn't think today was our last show, did you?
I did not, even though we have no guests for tomorrow. But yeah, I've definitely been doing the countdown, and we're still going to push hard and try to wrap on a positive note tomorrow before we're off starting Friday.
Sounds like a yes.
We're yeah, I got 1 foot out the door for sure.
Well, we hope you don't take Friday for granted because it is our national birthday. How about we prepare you for that day with some 4th of July trivia? This will be row versus row. There are shares and there are steals. Let's begin in the back row. In 1990, this band released their album Banned in the USA on July 4th. Who were they?
Banned in the USA.
Not Bruce Springsteen. That's Born in the USA.
2 Live Crew.
Is that what you think it is?
2 Live Crew.
All right, we're going to go 2 Live Crew.
You're absolutely correct. It is 2 Live Crew. Luke Campbell.
Nice.
Front row.
It wasn't the 2 Live Crew, was it?
The 2 Live Crew.
The 2 Live Crews.
Oh, controversy. Front row on July 4th, 1983. This pitcher threw a no-hitter. Can you name him?
Oh, I know this one.
Ron Guidry.
No, Steele, yeah.
Oh, no, wait.
Back row.
Back row, you can steal.
I'm gonna go, can we steal?
Yes, back row.
We're gonna go Dave Righetti on
You're absolutely correct. Yankees pitcher Dave Righetti. Back row, we stay with you. Let's see if you studied in history class. Who has the largest signature on the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, come on.
Hancock, right?
Yeah.
John Hancock.
Nice.
Absolutely correct. John Hancock.
Look at you, dude. You're just crazy right now.
Front row, the movie Independence Day was released in 1996, starring Will Smith. Can you name the actor who played the president?
Oh, come on.
I've never seen the movie, and I can tell you the name of the actor. He's the worst actor I've ever seen. I cannot stand this guy. His name is Bill Pullman.
You're absolutely correct.
Bill Pullman's awesome.
He is the worst actor on the planet. Bill Pullman.
I've never heard Paul Pep take such a strong take on anything before, ever in my entire life.
Spaceballs? Bill Pullman has been phoning it in for years.
What?
That guy should be embarrassed.
What do you have against Bill Pullman?
He's awful. You ever see was Absence of Malice? With
Malice with Nicole Kidman?
Oh, yeah.
Alec Baldwin?
Baldwin carries that flick. You know that, Brock. You've talked about that.
Oh, dude, Nicole Kidman's pretty spectacular.
Right. Baldwin was
devious she is.
Terrible. He's
he was pretty great in Spaceballs. Back row, Tom Cruise starred in the 1989 film Born on the 4th of July. Who directed the movie?
That was either way. Okay, it's a Ron Kovacs story. Is it Stone or... Yeah.
We'll buzz in with a steal.
Not Sondheim.
Let's say Oliver.
Okay, we're going to go Oliver Stone.
You are absolutely correct, Oliver Stone.
Wow.
Boy, they're cleaning up. And finally, front row, who is the only U.S. president to be born on the 4th of July?
I know that one. We got a steal there, baby.
You know that too? Look at you. You're taking over. You sure?
Well, should we say Kennedy?
And
well, we don't know it. Let's admit we don't know it.
You know what? Let's just go for the Irish Catholic.
Kennedy.
No, the back row can steal.
Nerd Fest.
Thomas Jefferson, was he born or did he die on July 4th?
He was
if you
born.
think there's any date relating to Thomas Jefferson on July 4th, you should go for it.
Thomas Jefferson, but I think he died on July 4th.
Yeah, Calvin Coolidge was the answer we were looking for.
Yeah.
Back row wins 4-1, our winners today, and a couple of true Americans. Stay with us on the other side of the break. The guys have their passion buckets filled by the mothership. Welcome back to the Box Score. Hopefully Bill Pullman has stayed with us through the break. See, when Dan asked ESPN announcer...
garbage. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's been mailing it in for years. I know exactly his name. His name is Bill Pullman. I'm shocked by Paul's venom towards Bill Pullman.
I tell you, Brock, during the commercial break, I thought about how mean I was during that, and I don't regret it at all. Bill Pullman sucks. DB Sweeney, you're next on the list.
The gauntlet has been laid down. I mean, the game-used glove has been laid down. See, when Dan asked ESPN announcer Ross Dyer to drop passion bucket during the match yesterday, did you actually think he was going to do it?
Man, well, now it just seems so obvious that of course he would. But no, I don't think at the time I did. I thought he gave the courtesy, like, all right, Dan, yeah, sure, we'll give that one a shot. Right, of course I'm going to do that. Right, worldwide leader here, and drop your little silly passion bucket phrase. But dang, man, he delivered big time.
Yeah, not only did he drop it once, he dropped it twice.
Large contingent of Argentine fans on their feet with their passion buckets filled. Leo Messi parted the Swiss waves in front of him. It's enough to fill all of those passion buckets behind the goal away to our left.
Well done. Well done, Ross.
Awesome. I just gotten home and put the TV on. I checked the old Twitter. I just got out of my car, and I listened to quite a bit of it in my car, and I didn't hear it. And I'm like, well, you know, he's not going to do it. It's Argentina, Switzerland. It's a big match, you know, big stage, a lot of people listening on radio. And my Twitter just starts going, da-da-da-da-da. He said it. And I got like 4 different people. I got someone from ESPN, someone from Sirius, and 2 of our guys trying to get the sound. We were going to have that sound before the show started today.
Mr. Wishy-washy Fritzy, if Ross ended up getting fired by ESPN for dropping passion bucket, and Dan wanted to make it up to him by making him a Danette, who could he replace?
I think Dan would probably have him replace me, bring in someone that's a little less pervy, less creepy, less passive-aggressive. Dan, as recently as earlier today, you know, made a comment that there's a parking spot waiting for me on campus at the mothership, and you know, he's always acting like he's on standby, waiting for me to give my notice and go back to ESPN. So it makes sense probably for him to make the swap with me.
See, do you agree?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know that Ross would necessarily fill the the Fritzy void all that well. I think that if he was going to replace one person, he's already demonstrated a willingness to go above and beyond and sort of put himself out there. I think he might take McLovin's spot.
Wow. Do we ever come to a conclusion, Paulie, as to whether you're getting inked, maybe a tramp stamp, a skank flank, or something like that?
No, but quickly, I'm glad McLovin's not going to fight that at all. I guess Ross has a home. I'm not against getting a tattoo. I'm really scared to get a bad tattoo. Now, that being said, the guys Seton knows they know what they're doing. So I am considering it because of the quality of their work, and I just want one great one.
Let's go to the man who obeys the Torah with reckless abandon. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a wide open slate because, as we all know, I've got one foot out the door. I've been counting the days till vacation, but we do have one more show till vacation. We're going to have a nice Best of July 4th show Friday with all kinds of guests. Tomorrow, your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, boy. That's a great guy. No tattoos for Fritzy. He's getting buried where he wants to be. Thanks for watching The Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!